I'm Sari. I'm the CEO of Medis Jobs. It's a site that we built for dentists so that you guys have a way to connect to jobs that fit for you. And this is our webinar on interviewing tips for you and how to get hired. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to learn in this webinar. I may talk really fast, and I don't mean to. This webinar will be up in a couple days on our website. So if you missed anything, you can go back to it. And because you've been on the webinar with us, I would be happy to take a phone call or an email from you on anything you want to talk about, whether it's your interview process or your resume or jobs that I might know of that fit your skill set or any of those things. I'm really, really trying to help doctors have tenure at their jobs, love what they do, love the culture of the company, and be in a spot that is maybe not their forever home, but for a long time home, rather than watching doctors jump from job to job and not find the satisfaction that they deserve. So we're going to talk about how to prepare for a dental job interview, how to really answer the questions that they're asking without giving too much information away that they're not necessarily asking for or getting off the topic too much, how to talk about your clinical skills, and what's more important than clinical skills, how you convey confidence to the patient so that they accept treatment, how to ask smart, thoughtful questions, not necessarily just to impress the employers, but to show them that you have an understanding about what they're asking you, how to dress, act, and follow up professionally, how to make a lasting impression, and last of all, how to get the job that matches up with your skill set and what culture you're looking to be in. So what is Medis Jobs? It's a platform that we developed for dentists and other professionals, but mainly dentists right now, so that we can really match what you're looking for, your skill set, with a culture that really makes sense for you. We want to kind of innovate all of the things that you're looking for in terms of finding a job. And we have information and a toolbox so that you have a place to refer to later on and help you find that dream job that you've been looking for after you spent all this time getting educated. My story, I started recruiting years ago in the retail world and then moved it forward into the dental world about 10 years ago and really, really hunkered down on it in the last 5 years. I think what I saw that I didn't like was happening to doctors is that you were getting pigeonholed into jobs that really didn't fit you. You weren't getting mentorship when you needed it. Frustration kind of came over a lot of doctors, and we've developed what I call bunny rabbits, which is when you job hop from one location to the next and it's not the right fit. So I sort of looked at I reversed engineered what was going on versus looking at it from the job perspective. I looked at it from the dental perspective and had a couple of friends that were dentists that said, like, these guys are coming out of dental school, but they don't have the skills that they necessarily need. I'd love to be a mentor for them, but I don't know how and where to find them. And so I think that there are a lot of doctors out there that have been practicing in their mid-career or mid-end of career, and they want to give something back to the younger generation. And I said, let's reverse engineer this and make it be about the dentist. And that's how Medis Jobs was born. Preparing for your interview. So dental interviews are really interesting. You're most likely probably going to be talking to multiple people. You're probably going to be talking to an owner or a high-level executive in the company who probably is not a dentist, probably really hasn't worked in the dental field, but it's the business that they're in now. So they're going to ask you a lot of businessy questions. What hours are you going to work? How much money do you expect to make? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And they're going to expect you to have some sort of answers to those questions. They're not really going to be asking you, what procedures do you like? They're not going to ask you if you intend on going to secondary school. They're not going to ask you a lot of those questions. They're going to ask you a lot of questions that are more or less going to be about the business. What hours can you work? What days can you work? So be prepared for those kind of things. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? They may ask you, how do you handle conflict amongst the team? And they may ask you a question, how do you deal with a patient that is non-compliant? But they're probably not going to ask you a lot of clinical questions. And then you're probably going to, for sure, be interviewing with the clinical director or a peer who's going to say, how do you look at doing this case this way? Maybe they're even going to show you an x-ray and ask you to clinically give a treatment plan for that. They're going to ask you, how do you treat? They're going to ask you, how do you keep a patient calm? They're going to ask you, maybe you started out with a 3-sided filling and you ended up with an onlay or a crown. What do you do? How do you explain it to the patient? They're going to ask you a lot of questions about who you are, how you treat, what kind of treatment plans you're comfortable with, what you're doing, what you're not comfortable with doing, what you want to learn about, what CE classes you want to take. They're going to ask you a lot of questions about clinical. So it's really nice kind of to sort of have a little note card with you for both of those interviews. They're probably going to be on the phone. Not all interviews are in person. Now with DSOs spreading across the country, you may not be meeting the person in person. You might be having a video call and you might be having a phone call. So you may not have to be totally dressed, but you should look put together, professional, like you know what's going on. Probably clean shaven if you're already clean shaven. If you have a beard, clean it up. Do your hair. You know, really look like you're interested in the part and you're a professional going into the professional world. Next page, the basics. So if you are going to be going to a location, sometimes you will go to shadow a location and do an interview there. Arrive a little bit early, especially with the way traffic is in the United States lately. It's crazy. And if you have a call or video chat, just remind yourself on your phone. Showing punctuality to a prospective owner of a company is a really good idea. Also, it reduces stress for you, but you know, people like people who are on time. Definitely bring a printed copy of your resume if you go to an actual physical interview. If not, and it's a video chat or a phone call, you may want to just text it over or email it over, you know, just so that the person has it handy. Usually they will, but it's a good idea. It just shows that you're on the ball, which is what a lot of these companies are looking for, people who are punctual and on the ball. Dress professionally. Dress as if you're going to a clinic. And what I mean by that is OSHA is sort of always in effect for people. Knowing that you know OSHA, have your sleeves covered, because in a clinic, you'll have to either have a coat on or a shirt under your scrubs to have your sleeves covered. Make eye contact, smile. Even if it's on the phone, smile while you're on the phone. People can hear it in your voice. Show confidence. Please don't cross your arms like this. It shows that you're unapproachable. Try to keep your hands maybe in your lap. Definitely be honest with people. If you don't know how to do something, don't tell them that you know how to do something. So many times I've interviewed someone and said, okay, there's a lot of molar root canal in this job. You think you can handle it? Oh, yeah. Then I get them in a working interview, or we hire the person. They have no idea the first thing about doing a root canal. It's better to show that you don't know and that you're willing to learn and you would like mentorship for something, then tell them that you can do something you can't. You know how fast they're going to find out that you can't do it. Really fast. Stay positive. Don't talk negative about past experiences, past clinics, past employers, situations that happen in dental school or in clinic. You want to be really positive. Look, you're a leader without being a leader within a clinic, because you are the doctor, and without them, they can't do a whole lot. So you need to have those leadership qualities. And by taking negative experiences and throwing them into the mix, that really does not do a lot for people. Try to answer things as positively as possible. In the past, I had this experience, which taught me this. In the past, I had this experience, which I learned this from. I think is a really good idea, just to stay positive and not talk about past experiences not being so positive for you. Ask for clarification. If the screener or the recruiter talked about something and you need more information on it, this is a great time to be asking, do I really have to work Saturday from 9 to 9? Am I expected to work nights? What does the pay really look like? I would ask, give me an idea of what your average doctor makes in your average clinic and how many hours they work. Lots of those questions are definitely open for discussion. How many root canals, how many crowns, how many this, how many that are people performing? What procedure codes are you doing the most? How much hygiene will I be expected to see? How many checkups will I be expected to see too? How many columns am I running? All those questions are fair game, and you absolutely should be asking that. Bring a notebook, definitely take notes. Take notes because you're going to be writing a thank you note and you want to make sure that you personalize the thank you note. So talk about something a little personal, or if they give you a personal situation that happened to them, be sure that you refer to it back in your thank you note. Do your research. Before you even get there, you should be looking at their website and social media. You should be looking at the reviews. One of the things is you are interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. A place with a lot of negative reviews, you want to know why they have the negative reviews. You want to know what they plan to do for reputation management, because you're stepping into that problem too. So you want to know, how are they going to market the company so that the negative reviews go away and you get more production and see more patients. Research the owners of the practice, maybe when it was founded, where other locations are. If it's a 20 location practice across the country, know that it's a 20 location practice across the country. You're going to want to know how many dentists are there. You may want to ask if you can talk to one of the dentists that work for the company to ask them about the company. You want to know what the staff there is like, how helpful they're going to be. Are you expected to treatment plan and sell it, or is somebody else doing it for you and you're just doing diagnostics? Really good questions to be asking. Really gets you prepared and amped up for, oh my God, I'm really excited to work with the practice managers of this practice because they do the treatment planning. And it's not something I'm really strong in, and I'd like to see sort of how they do it and get people to commit to treatment. Those are really good things to be asking. You want to know what definitely the reviews, you want to know what the patient experience and the value of the company is. That they are answering reviews. They should be definitely answering reviews. If there's a negative review, you want to know what the core values of the company are and the mission statement. And you probably want to say you align with a core value. It resonates with you. That really, for companies that are doing interviewing, they take a lot of time to come up with core values and ideas. So the fact that you resonate with it really is a good idea to sort of talk about that and why you resonate with it. Showing genuine interest in the business of dentistry is a really good idea. You're a dentist. It's what you do. Understanding how this specific business is it fee for service? Do you have plans to go fee for service? Are you PPO? Are you HMO? Is there an expectation that I do some, free dentistry, mission of mercy, that sort of stuff?